Let me tell you a story I don't really enjoy talking about, but I think it needs to be told because some of you might be walking straight into the same trap I fell into over a decade ago. The thumbnail that you just saw, the one about my credit score dropping from 720 to 540 in one day, that is not clickbait. That actually happened. It still stings when I think about it because back in 2010, I made a classic trying to be a good friend mistake. A friend of mine needed help buying a car, a Toyota Corolla, $12,000. He didn't have the credit to get approved, but I did. So what did I do? I stepped in and co-signed the loan. And I thought I was doing a nice thing. And I thought, hey, I've got good credit. He just needs a little help, right? And what is the worst thing that could happen? Well, let me tell you exactly what happened. Not even a year later, the payments stopped. And I had no idea. No warning, no heads up, nothing. He just ghosted me. I tried calling, no answer. Texted him, nothing. I found out the hard way when I started getting phone calls, lots of them from the lender. The lender was calling me nonstop, telling me the payments were late and the car was about to be repossessed. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't about to pay for that car. I didn't drive it, I didn't see it. I was not even in the same city as that car at the time because I had already PCS'd. But none of that matters when you are the cosigner. The bank does not care who drives it. They just want their money. And when they don't get it from the borrower, they come for you. Eventually, the car was repossessed and the hits did not stop there. The lender sold the car at an auction for about $6,000. But here's the catch. There was still a balance left and they call that a deficiency balance. In this case, it was about $4,000. So now I got stuck with a wrecked credit score and a $4,000 bill for a car I never drove. And I tried explaining that I was just the cosigner. But again, nobody cared. I was desperate to clean up my credit scores. So I did what I had to do. I negotiated with the lender and offered to pay $2,000 if they agreed in writing to remove the negative mark from my credit report. And they took the deal. And that $2,000, well, that was my stupid tax. Ever since then, I made a promise to myself. I will never co-sign for anyone again. I don't care how close we are. Not friends, not family, not even my own daughter. And I know you're going to be like, whoa, you're a terrible parent. Well, in fact, I've been teaching her how to manage her own piggy bank or her own checking account since she was 7 years old. Yeah, there's a checking account for kids if you go to Chase. And she knows what a good debt and a bad debt are, right? And her old man is a finance guy, and she knows that. And financial education is the key to her success instead of me co signing for a future loan. Now, let's move forward. I'm not going to go over the common sense stuff like pay your bills on time or don't max out your credit cards. You already know that. What I want to do today is walk you through 5 credit mistakes that people don't talk about enough, mistakes that can quietly drag your credit scores down if you're not being careful. So let's get into it. Mistake number 1, do not co-sign a loan. And we just covered this, but I cannot stress it enough. When you co-sign, you're saying, if this person does not pay, I will. That's not just a casual favor. That's a legal promise. If they miss a payment, it hits your credit. If they default, you're on the hook. And your scores get dragged through the mud right along with theirs. And no, you cannot just remove yourself later. That's not how this works. The thing is, co-signing can put you at real financial risk and seriously damage a relationship. And if they cannot qualify for the loan on their own, there's probably a good reason for that. And do not make their problem your problem. Now, look, I'm not saying don't help anyone, but there are other ways to help without tying your credit to theirs. Give advice, offer resources, like going to firesightchat.com/resources to get the free calculator and checklist. And when it comes to your family, do not lend them money, but pay something off or directly buy something on their behalf if you can afford it, but do not co-sign. Just trust me on this one. Mistake number 2 is consolidating your debt with a debt consolidation agency. And here's the problem that you don't see in their advertisement. There will be fees like origination fees, balance transfer fees, and closing costs that will be added to your debt. And because your credit score is not strong enough to qualify for a lower interest rate, consolidating your debt could result in a higher interest rate than what you're currently paying on individual debts. You might even have to put collateral on the loan in case you can't make the payments on anymore. And you might argue that credit card interest rates are in their 20+%, so why not consolidate them into one account with 8%? Well, here's the thing you're not thinking about. By consolidating your high interest debt into one, you're not thinking about the root cause of how you got to this point in the first place. Consolidating your debt is just fixing the symptom of your financial problem. I've seen plenty of people who just build up debt again right after consolidating their debt. Why? Because it was a behavioral problem with their spending and going from $1,500 a month on debt repayments on individual accounts to $750 a month on a consolidation loan might sound appealing, right? But did you face the real problem with how you got here in the first place? Are you tracking your spending so that you don't accumulate debt again? When I had over $47,000 in credit card debt in 2013, I had 5 maxed out credit cards. I did not consolidate them, but instead I paid them off one by one, and it took me 17 months to pay them off. If I had consolidated them, it would have taken me longer because the total balance would have been a lot higher than $47,000. And trust me, I looked into it when I was on my debt-free journey in 2014. You can always schedule a 60-minute consultation with me by visiting firesuccess.com/consultation if you need me to do a deep dive on your personal finances. Mistake number 3 is the one that will sneak up on you, and that's not paying municipal debt. Now, I am talking about parking tickets, water bills, electricity, gas, trash, traffic violations, all that small time stuff that doesn't seem important. And most people think it's just a parking ticket. What is the worst that can happen, right? Here's what can happen. These debts can end up in collections, and collection accounts will trash your credit scores faster than you can say municipal court. A $50 parking ticket can turn into a $300 collection account that stays on your credit report for 7 years. 7 years of damaged credit over 50 bucks. The crazy part is that a lot of people do not even know they have these debts until they show up on their credit report. Maybe you moved and did not get the notice. Maybe it got lost in the mail. Doesn't matter. Once it hits collections, the damage is done. My advice, check with your city or county if you moved recently to see if you have any outstanding fines or fees, and set up automatic payments for utilities if you can. It's not glamorous, but neither is explaining to a mortgage lender why you have a collections account for an unpaid water bill. Mistake number 4 is using too much of your available credit on your credit card. And this goes beyond just maxing out your credit cards. Lower utilization rates can improve your credit scores, which can in turn make it easier to secure a mortgage with favorable terms. And most people know that maxing out your credit cards is bad, but they do not realize how sensitive the scoring models are to utilization changes. And here's what I mean. Let's say you've got a credit card with a $5,000 limit and you normally keep about a $500 balance on it. And that's a 10% utilization, which is pretty good, right? But then you have a big expense. Maybe you need to fix your car or pay for a home repair, and you put $3,000 on the card. Suddenly, you're at 60% utilization on that card. Even if you pay it off the next month, that high utilization gets reported to the credit bureaus and can drop your scores by double digits. And here's the thing, it can take a few months for your score to recover, even after you pay the balance down. The solution is to either spread large purchases across multiple cards or pay down the balance before your statement closes. Most people do not realize the credit card companies report your balance to the bureaus based on your statement balance, not your current balance. So if you pay down the $3,000 charge before your statement cuts, it might not hurt your credit score after all. Mistake number 5 is letting your old credit cards close due to inactivity. And this one kills me because it's so preventable. But I see it happen all the time. And you get your first credit card when you're young and use it for a while, then move on to better cards with rewards or lower rates, right? My first credit card was a military star card. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have one of those. And the old credit card sits in your drawer for years, and eventually the credit card company closes it for inactivity. Big mistake. The length of the credit history is 15% of your credit score, and that old credit card is probably helping your average account age. And when it gets closed, you lose that history and your score can take a hit. And the fix is pretty simple, but requires a little discipline. Once a year, I put a small charge on each of my old credit cards, usually a $5 Amazon gift card. Then I pay it off immediately. It takes 5 minutes and keeps the card active. Some people set up automatic payments for small recurring charges like Netflix or Spotify, whatever works for you. Just don't let those old accounts close. And here's where I am today and why I'm telling you all this. And my credit score is now About 830, excellent range. The only debt I carry is my mortgage, right? And I use my credit cards every single month, but I pay them off in full every single month. I never carry a balance into the next month, and I have structured my finances so I never have to. But here's the thing, I still will not co-sign a loan for anyone, not my family, not my friends, not nobody. I won't even add my daughter as an authorized user on my credit cards. Some people think that's harsh, but I learned my lesson the hard way. I don't want my daughter to learn any hard lessons, but my daughter can build her own credit with time because she already understands the concept of saving and spending. So instead of co-signing her loan or whoever's loan, I focus on financial education, and I teach my daughter about credit, about budgeting, about making smart financial decisions. This is worth more than any co-sign loans. And if she needs help with something, I will help her in other ways. But I am not putting my credit on the line for anyone ever again. Look, I get it. When someone you care about needs help, your first instinct is to help them however you can. But co-signing a loan is not helping them, it's enabling them. If they cannot qualify for credit on their own, they need to work on their finances first. Help them with that instead. And the other mistakes I talked about are easier to avoid once you know about them, right? And keep your credit utilization low, pay all your bills on time, even the small municipal stuff, and keep your old credit cards active. And these are not complicated strategies, but they will save you tens of thousands of dollars in interest over your lifetime. And remember, your credit scores affect everything, your mortgage rate, and sometimes even your job prospects and insurance rates. A difference of 100 points on your credit score can cost you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of a mortgage. That is real money and it's worth protecting. And let me know in the comment section down below if you have any similar stories like the one that I just told. And this has been another beast of a video, and I hope you got a lot out of it.